What's up, everybody? Patrick LaRouge here from Evolve Restorative Therapy. You can find me at livepainfreeprocess.com. I have a pain-free concierge service that gets people to balance out their lives so they can live and move pain-free from mind to body to soul to spirit to everything. Everything that you need to do to consistently progress in feeding yourself and doing everything that you need to do to be the best part of you, right? Today, well, we're going through this whole concept of a great starting point of learning who you are, because we do not know what's going on. This was a mind-blowing couple weeks for me, and I've been realizing that my starting point has all been off and had to reallocate everything. So it's been huge. So now I have to go through everything, and everything that I did through a bunch of days of me looking, I was like, oh man, that's off, based off the new data that I got of the history lesson I spoke about before. If you guys want to know more about the history lesson, please holla at me. But once I reallocated my starting point, everything started to change. So now I have to teach you everything pretty much all over, right? Because it's not what we once thought. So also with this lovely history lesson, I realized that I had EMG of myself that showed me exactly what my body was doing when it was doing it. And it also taught me a bunch of different things. And then I also have functional MRI of the brain while things were happening, and I have data on that, so I put that back into play. And I realized a bunch of different things through all my mentors, different things, and every muscle by law has something that compensates it. So there's a yin and a yang, let's call it. In order for you to make a bicep curl, your bicep has to electrically get energy, and the tricep has to decrease in energy so you can make this bicep curl, and then vice versa to extend it, right? Now take that data and bring the electrical currents up to the brain. Everything in the front part of your body that puts you into fetal position also is associated with the back part of your brain, which has a lot of the fight or flight mechanisms in there. The middle part of your brain is your motor cortex, and your front part of your brain is your executive functioning. So I clumped it down like that on purpose, so when I go through this in later videos, it's very, very easy for you to understand. But once you start getting into a fight or flight stage, you go more posterior of the brain, and then you don't have executive functioning, which is the beginning part of the brain. How you get out of that is through movement, because your motor cortex is the thing that communicates the both. So the fastest way that you can get yourself feeling good, right? Feeling good is by getting more movement pattern. Now, where you get that movement from is going to also dictate what's happening, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next couple of videos. Is it's not just what you do, it's how you do it and why you do it. And I said it all the time, right? So if you're doing more anterior-based stuff in the front of your body, your bicep curls, running on treadmills, doing anything in this anterior way, which is, you just go to the gym, every machine is seated in this way. You're further putting yourself in trouble because your body's learning how to be halfway to fetal position. And that's something that everyone's already said. So one thing I want to get you to realize is you need to get more executive functioning back in your brain, especially because we live stressful lives, because we start thinking and behaving the way that we are, which then forces us into our shell, into our fetal position, and then we just want to be in this world that feels comfortable, right? Once we get out of that world, then your body starts processing things better. You start using your whole entire brain, using your whole self rather than part of yourself, either reacting to everything because you're in danger, right? Or you start to really become more fluid, more open, and more mindful because you're using the whole structure, let's call it your brain. The way you do that is by using your posterior chain. Doing everything in the back of you is going to elicit more electrical current to your motor cortex that's forcing you to use your anterior brain. On the back burner, now these muscles are more conditioned. This is the most important part. These muscles are more conditioned, which then competes with the front part, holding you up naturally, rather than thinking, I need to be in good posture. And you're doing it all in the wrong ways, right? Your body naturally wants to open up. If you get the posterior chain to work properly and consistently, now you're feeding an electrical current to your motor cortex that's going to also compete with this natural front-driven society that we created based off the starting point, right? The starting point is everything, right? The starting point that I just gave you was there's 3 sections of your brain. You have to now get your brain to start working properly. The way we do that, because its default section is fight or flight, is start getting more movement. How do you do that? Through your posterior chain. Why do you do it? Because you want to condition that posterior chain to fight the natural, consistent need to be in fetal position. That's governed and dictated to you from birth because that's the first muscle systems that we first learned in fetal position. That's something that's always going to be there. When you get scared, you drop into this way. We don't go, ah! You know, when we get scared, we drop in because those muscles were built first, had the most electrical energy to it first. Let me correct. So that is key for you to understand. That is your starting point. This is something that you always want to do. So you consistently want to go to the gym and you want to do things in the extension-based process so it can actually get stronger to hold you up, and that competes with the anterior chain. All right? So that is this week's lesson for the starting point and getting you clear on how to live and move pain-free. These are big, bulk things that I want you to start really realizing. And foam rolling them, trigger pointing them, stretching them are all going to help you. So if you haven't gotten into the video series yet, get on board and start realizing that that's everything that I'm feeding on the undertow is getting you to become more anterior train driven, posterior train driven to compete with the anterior chain. So all of those video series are going to help. And if you haven't done so, please jump on there. It's really simple, really easy. And if you have a comment, please say something down below. Please subscribe if you like what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about some things that people just don't think about. I love your comments and I love the things that you tell me. So please holla at your boy. Till next time, peace.